You know, I've done all these same trails out here, these single track desert trails out here. I've done it on a lot of different bikes, 2 strokes, 4 strokes. You know, the thing that the thing that this bike compares the most closely to would be its big brother, the YZ250F. Obviously the 450FX as well, but I've never ridden the 450FX. I just owned recently and sold recently the YZ450F, and this bike feels, you know, it feels really similar to that, the way it handles. No surprise, it's the same chassis and the same suspension, just maybe slightly revalve front fork for the a little bit softer, but honestly I'm not sure how much softer it is. And then obviously the other thing to compare it to is that the one that I am comparing it directly to, the KTM 250XCF. And you know, this bike, so far, my initial impression now, after having ridden this exact trail a couple of days earlier, like 2-3 days earlier on that KTM, this bike feels a little bit heavier. Now, why is that? Well, it's because it is heavier. You're gonna have to put the exact weights up there, you know, and it's hard to get the exact weights of these things because KTM does their weights dry. I mean, I think they put oil in the bikes, but they don't have fuel in them as far as I know when they have their spec online. Yamaha does a wet weight, like ready to ride, so oil and gas. So this bike is stated heavier, and when I lift it and play around with it, it in actuality is heavier than the KTM. Whoop. There we go. Came into that corner, not fully on the clutch, and I hit that back brake pretty hard to get through that. So yeah, the bike does feel just a touch heavier. Jump down that. A touch heavier than the old Kato. Just wants to go a little bit straighter. I mean, this one, I can tell that it's a 4-stroke because I'm having to muscle it a little bit more and put a little bit more effort into flicking it around these things. Now, I'm not saying it's obtuse or anything, I'm just saying, and this is actually really good out here. I'm just saying that some of the time I have felt like I haven't been able to be quite as nimble on this bike than the other one. The 250XCF. Grab a gear, pop down, straight back down into the ditch. They're also geared a bit differently. I mean, if I had to describe this one, I think I'd describe it, the gearing, a little bit more along the lines of the KTM 300XCWs, the wide ratio transmissions. Now, that may sound obvious, because this is stated to be, you know, a wide ratio transmission, and it definitely feels like it. A little bit more than the quote wide ratio of 250XCF. This right here is one of the funnest sections of sagebrush style single track that I know of. This is just absolutely freaking magnificent out here, and you got a lot of curves. This isn't the stuff right by my house. This is miles and miles away from my house. It takes me about an hour-ish, maybe more, to ride out to here. So I don't get to do it all that often out in this exact spot. This is the rockiest part of it, and then it just kind of opens up out into a field where you just fly. It is kind of hard to see because I'm looking straight into the sun, so I'm using that visor. Here we go. We'll be able to go away from the sun for a little bit here, so maybe we can actually roll around some of these corners and see a little bit without having to dip that visor down so low. I often talk about getting into a flow, and that's what this trail out here helps me to do. Get out into a flow. A couple little small whoops. There we go. Open up the bike. Shift up a gear. Go blitzing through these whoops. Drop down one gear. And this is where this thing just really is at home. It's out here. And this stuff. Yeah. That's where this bike likes to be, out here in this stuff rather than that rocky stuff we were doing. And there's fourth. Drop back down to third for that corner. At least I think it's third. 1, 2. There's second. There's third, yeah. So here's third. And most of the time you can just stay in third on the single track. Second or third. That's what I find. Dip, boom. There we go. There's fourth. Blitzing out through here. This is just a nice trail. Good little trail to come test on.